Everybody, this is Lisa Baudouin. Welcome back to Lisa's chat room. Today's October 27th, 2023. It's a Friday. I've been out here all day. Yesterday it poured, and so I came out all day, and I have been out here all day. I had my headset on, listening to music, trying to relax, trying to just get through it, just doing one step at a time. And so I'm going to talk about this. This is my fence, and I'm almost finished. Just a few more things to do. But before I begin, I have to disclose I'm not an expert in anything. So anything I share with you, if you try it, use it, or buy it, you do so at your own risk and peril. Also, too, putting up a fence, there's a couple things I want to mention here. First of all, the building permit. I needed that, and I have been working with the building inspector on cue every single step of the way. I'd given him a drawing while I made my payment, and he's been out here several times making sure that I'm doing the right things. The other thing is, because there's an electrical thing here, and even if there wasn't, it's a good idea to have the electric company come out and stake things, and they did, and everything was clear for me. So that's something I didn't mention before, and I think it's very, very important. You got to be very careful if you're going to be doing this, because these are spikes that are going into the ground. They're metal. You sure don't want to hit some kind of power line or something as you go. So I would double check with your cable service and your electrical service and any other service you think you should, your water service, to make sure that there's nothing in the way here. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention before I forget. Second thing is, I'm almost done. I just have the very front piece to do and a couple little things to do. So I'm going to do a little recap here. Here are the panels, and these were actually two 8-foot panels that were cut, and they were cut again. I cut them down in the middle so I could lift them over here, and then I used the posts to put them back together and support them. Right here, I actually built this, and it's just angled, nothing holding it there except for the brackets, and these are pretty sturdy brackets. But you can tell I built it because I didn't use same 2x3s. I used a 2x4 for this. So these are 2x3s going through this paneling here, and then these are 4x4 by 6-foot posts. And I'm using, first of all, I'm using the stakes that I put into the ground, and they're all going this way. And then I'm using the posts, like I've mentioned many times, and then I'm using these 4x4 post holders to hold this, which I like, because if I have any problems, I don't have to worry about going on the opposite side, which I couldn't anyway, because there's a fence right over there. I put up a motion detector. That works really, really nice. I really like it a lot. It does work at night. It's a good idea. I wanted to have lights hanging, but it was just too difficult. This is my angle, the piece that I built, and I go from 6 foot down to 30 inches. And you can't see it now because I have this decor on it, and I did that all the way out. So you got 30-inch fence, and then up 18 more. I've got 18 inches there and measured out. And just in case, got it where I can take it off if it's not the right dimensions. If the inspector comes and says, no, this isn't right, you got to lower it, it's no problem. I can lower it, no big deal. But before I get to the plan of what I want to do when I'm done with this, is I'm still working on these pieces. So I built that just the same way. I had taken it out into the backyard, laid down the panels that I bought, and then I just kind of put them on an angle 1 to 30, and then I just drew a line, and then I just cut them, put them together, and took a few times. You know, I'm not perfect, trust me, but I think I did okay. And then the lattice, I love the lattice. It looks really, really pretty. And here, this is framing decor, and the reason I'm doing this is because what I'm going to be putting in here, according to the inspector, he said this would be okay. I'm going to take tree branches. I was going to try to do flowers or some kind of pine, some kind of palm trees or something like that, fake palm trees, but it's too expensive and they would get really bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire some tree branches together to make it look just a little bit less. You won't be able to see too much. Now, the inspector said, quote, that I could be 6 foot up with them because they're not a fence, and because they're not permanent, I can come out to about, I think he said about here. And then I have to go an angle down to the post because you have to be able to see out of your driveway. And I'm going to put a sign here as well that says watch for pedestrians. So that's going to be there just to remind me to make sure that I don't, go out too fast, which I don't anyway. I'm really a slow driver. Okay, so next thing is I need to get one more cap here. And I have braced this on here, and I'm just building this piece here. And I'm pretty much done after that, at least with the fence. Then I can get the building inspector here and have him take a look at it. Now these pieces came from tall pieces of fencing, 6 foot, and I just cut them down to 30 inches, and I used the ones that had the dog ears, but the ones that didn't, I just made the dog ears. I just took them and put them on top of here, used one that had pre-existing dog ears, and then just cut it. Easy peasy. And so now that's the last thing that I'm doing here. One thing I will mention is that I would suggest, if you're going to get these post holder stakes, to get bigger bolts. Now these are bigger bolts that I bought. They're just so much better because it's really hard. The bolts that they give you, they barely come out far enough, and I just don't like that. So I've got a little bit more to do here. I have to get some of these hex screws and finish up the hex screws on the sides of the post holders. I got to finish this, and then I've got to have the inspector over. He's going to okay it. Then I will get my tree branches, and I have no clue. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my friends if they, and look what I did to my table. I know, it's horrible. I accidentally cut it. See, I do stupid things. I mean, I can't solder it, and you can't put tape on it because it goes down into here. I just bought this thing. I'm so mad, but it's still okay. There's a push button on it, and it just, the legs push out and up. It's okay. It's a utility table. I don't care. So there's a couple more things I want to talk about. I'm actually in the trunk of my car. This is where I just kind of have everything sitting so I don't have to run back and forth. I wanted to mention this. See this screw here? I will never buy these again. These are not good screws. I had 2 L brackets that were just temporary sitting here, and I couldn't get them off. But you got to be really careful with these, because I literally had to come along, and I think it was on this one. Yep, you can see I used my Sawzall, and luckily I could undo it, the bracket, enough where I could get behind it and saw that screw, and both of them screwed up. These are the stars, and I like these much better. No, that's a square. Look how horrible that looks. Now here's the star, and that's what I will use from now on. I'm never going to use these again. They're just too scary, and they kind of rip up. They're really kind of cheap. And then what's going to happen is those branches are going to go on a wire, and they're just going to sit right in here. I'll just somehow secure them in. I think it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. I think it looks really good. I'm so shocked. I love it. I'll do one more walkthrough after this, and then after that I'm going to sit down. I'm going to tell you the cost of the fence in the final video. So, but that's it for today. Please like, subscribe, and share. And please make sure you stay safe and stay healthy. And I'll see you again next time in Lisa's chat room.